My name is Owen Colgan and I've got over 30 years experience being outside. I'm from County Mayo and so I love walking across the fields. This was a regular Sunday but it was very cold. The Irish countryside can get very wet, very cold and very moist. And today was no different. I was on the lookout for a badger that lived in those woods there. It was a long journey, but what happened in a few moments was very scary indeed. But let's wait to see what happened.
These animals can be very dangerous, with up to 2-inch claws at the front of their face. Some people don't like badgers and believe them to be dangerous, but if you stay back from them, they won't bite. Their back legs are small and chunky. The badger comes from the weasel family, and it's also related to the otter and the skunk. If you see a badger in the wild, stay well back. Be careful, they will bite. It's not my fault if they do.
As I got closer to the forest, I began to get hungry. That's when I remembered I brought a banana. Bananas are full of potassium goodness, so I took a big bite. And then I tried to cross the drain. I didn't judge the jump right and I nearly broke my leg. I struggled for a couple of moments and I thought I might have died. Thankfully I used my training and I pulled myself out of the hole. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm actually bleeding. And I've got about 3 hours before I keel over. So I'm going to keep moving down to that forest down there and see if I can get my eyes on the badger. Let's go. I continued on my journey to see the forest and I moved as fast as I could. I'm a very fast guy when I get going and I've always been a pretty good runner, and today was no different. When I turned in the gap I noticed I could see the forest very close. Well, I can see the woods from here. We're about 100 yards away from them. I'm getting pretty nervous. Looking forward to seeing what's going on in those woods there. Seeing if I can find this badger that everyone keeps talking about. Maybe I can get some answers. Okay, let's keep going. The closer I got to the forest, the more nervous I got, but I continued on my way. Just before I got to the forest, I noticed a big pool of water, exactly the place a badger would drink from. What you see here is a perfect feeding ground for badgers. They come in here and the young feed first, and the adults, they watch around to see if there's anyone coming. And once they figure out no one's coming, they all come around, they start feeding off this water together. That gives them nutrients and energy so they can create their own families and live here in the woods behind me. There've been badgers here recently and I have a funny feeling they're in those woods there. Come on. The forest itself was looking very beautiful and it sort of hypnotized me. That's when I heard the flute. As I went to look for the badgers in the forest, I couldn't find any. I continued to look for another small while, but at the end of the day, I didn't really care. I weighed up the trees, took in some of the knowledge from the land, and made it my business to not be in a rush. After having a good gawk at the land, I decided it was time to leave. Even if I didn't get to see any badgers, I had a really good day outside. I had a quick look back at the forest and took a mental image. It brought a smile to my face. That's when I left. As I headed off down the road, I had a lot of things to digest. None more so than my next journey up to the Mountain of Truth. Until then, folks, take care of yourself.